She was the Cersei Lannister, the golden bride of Casterly Rock, but the prophecy of Maggie the Frog haunted her. She knew what was coming. She knew that her brother, so despised by her, was not the Valonqa foretold in prophecy. She knew the future, she knew the horror that would come, and she tried to prevent it by warning Rhaegar in her letter. But he ignored her. She tried to tell Jaime, but he thought she had gone mad. So she knew what she had to do. She asked her father for lands and raised an army, a strong army, for herself and her 3 future children, to protect them. Her father acknowledged her efforts and gave her a seat on the council. And though everyone now knew the truth about Lyanna and the prince, Robert still won. The Targaryens were destroyed, and Lyanna, that girl, became queen. But something changed. Jaime was released from burden of Kingsguardship and married a Hightower girl to strengthen the family. Lyanna should have died. Despite everything, she knew her child was meant to rule them all. Even Tywin opposed this accursed marriage, and of course this woman and her Targaryen bastard. Robert did not want it, but he had no choice. Jaime's child would be the prince. Cersei earned a reputation of her own. She despised Robert, despised everything about him, his gluttony, his looks, his smell, his children. The coronation was a disappointment to her, but at least she had Joffrey. She knew Robert's bastard had to die, and she did everything to achieve it before her precious little princess was born. As in visions of the past, he continued to abuse his noble and beautiful queen. When Myrcella was born, it was time for Tommen, and to kill Robert, to free herself and her children. But just as he could have died, fate showed how cruel it could be. Cersei died. Joffrey became Tywin's protege. Tommen was sent away from the court and Myrcella was abandoned. While the children mourned, Robert rejoiced. The Targaryens were alive and well, as was Joffrey. He grew ambitious. Seeing how Tywin tormented Robert with impunity, he wanted the same. He became obsessed with the idea of revenge. He trained, he sought the support of Valyrians who hated Robert, remained loyal to the Targaryens and supported his mother's schemes. In return, he had to marry a Valyrian bride. He hated Robert with all his heart, and so he grew up and became a true warrior. He participated in tournaments, building his own reputation. He took part in duels and chess games. He helped pacify the Western lords in his uncle's name, securing the realm for his nephews. But most of all, he loved humiliating his so-called father, exposing his infidelities and defeating the fat king in duels. He even tried to kill him, but without success. So he simply humiliated him again and again. And then it was time to marry. New conflict erupted between West and the Crown, and he sent his sister to become a ruling lady of Dorne, supporting the forces of his uncle and father-in-law. But when the news came, Tommen was dead. He knew Robert was to blame, though it likely wasn't true. And right after the wedding, he went to the battlefield with his family to face their common enemy. His wife was beautiful, as she was cruel and sadistic. The entire new family worked to kill Robert and win the conflict. The name of the daughter was decided from the start: Cersei. Though he opposed his father, he still could do nothing. He was the crown prince with a reputation to uphold. He matured and his family grew. He supported Dorne, his sister's name, and obtained a Valyrian steel artifact. But then Myrcella died. Now he was the last. He questioned the cruelty of fate. Though he could defeat Robert in a duel, he saw the truth. At last he understood who his real father was. But it was a relief to have a family of his own. Soon after, Robert died. Finally, he became king, but it felt as though nothing had changed. He was crowned before the people, the new king, the lion on the throne. He allied with the Valyrians and reconciled with Targaryen family to spite the dead Robert. He married his daughter to a Targaryen boy and a Targaryen girl to his heir, and later their child drew the Iron Throne. Despite everything, the prophecy did not come true. Yes, their shrouds were golden, but their crowns never fell from their heads.